auditorium video, and what had been on when I pulled up to that underpass was Stadium, or Arcadium Stadium, that's on today's playlist. And then the underpass made me think of Auditorium and listening to the lyrics, and kind of putting things together, and other things that I've seen earlier today that, you know, kind of stuck out to me because they didn't fit into as an answer that wouldn't really make sense for the question I asked or topic I was exploring. And so, but sometimes those things come to light later and they make more sense in retrospect. So I always kind of try to keep things unless it really just doesn't, you know, make sense. But just a few things like Bleachers, Reckless Love, and all these things having to do with like auditorium and passing like a stadium. And then I'm thinking like, then I pulled up to all these things came together at Adam Street. And I'm like, oh, it's a message from Adam, my cousin, who was murdered in his sophomore year or freshman year of college, I think, maybe. I don't remember. And I don't remember the exact. I think he's a freshman, yeah. And so yeah, Teenagers Auditorium, and then the next street I was at was Jackson, and it's like the third time today that name's come up. Jackson Pollock, and like Splatter Paint, and like Blood Splattered, you know, and Sicko Mode came on, and that's kind of like a reference for me because it reminds me of a lot of like Mars and Libra energy, which is what I have. And since it's in Libra, it often comes across more like the aggression of Mars, or the force of Mars comes across more so in sometimes things that I write or say, because it's Libra, it's air. Whereas someone who might have a lot of fire energy and Mars energy in a firehouse, or maybe even like a water house, that might make it like a little bit more unstable, because water is shifty, and you know, tides, things like that, you know, just parable it all out, you know. And just kind of what I do, and just so normally I have to like freak out and threaten some random poor person that is on my radar that may or may not deserve the lengths of a speech that I go to get my point across in certain forms of speech. But you know, sometimes there's not enough time, and sometimes you need to explain what you're doing, because otherwise, you know, I don't want people to be mad at me all the time. So, and if you haven't followed this, you probably don't know that I enhance or exaggerate, but yeah, and the writing is just the way it comes across. I think we all have different, you know, almost personas in the different expressions, like writing, like in speech, and just, yeah. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is to give you an inside look, sort of signs, and how I might, and what you might look for as signs, and you know, things that stand out to you, because kind of, you know, I hear that, put those things together, and I have a very daunting and anxious feeling that there might be another sort of school shooting. Oh, and right prior to playlist. It was Drake Energy's song. So yeah, what that means to me is that that someone, or people that are predisposed towards certain behaviors or towards certain expressions or certain outlets and ways of expressing or taking out that frustration or anger as Mars energy especially passes, because Mars and Scorpio are like warrior Pluto, and those types of aggressive energies, if they're not channeled correctly. So people that are more predisposed towards aggressive behavior should pay even closer attention to how you might be manipulated, as Mars, which is a fast-moving planet, so it transits pretty quickly through the chart in different areas of your life, and so to pay attention in certain, pay attention to how knowing that energy is passing through, an aggressive type of energy is passing through, maybe in the next few days, to just try to be aware of that and keep more of a level head and notice if and how that, like, are you more ticked off, are you more angry, or more like it's people, so say that there's like someone who does have like anger issues or something, and Mars transits through their house of through the whatever house, it'd be different for everyone depending on what their chart looks like. So but in a house that involves other people, and maybe like Capricorn or something, which is less like fiery, less like doesn't come off as aggressive, but has just as much, like, I guess, willpower to make something happen, if not more so, because they're like saving all their energy for so to just notice how different things affect you, and because that would be a scenario where someone, especially someone who's not in great control of their emotions, and maybe teenagers, adolescents going through things at home, and maybe are being bullied or something, how they would react in given different energy intake. But especially with Mars, if someone is prone to act out and be disruptive, and that about them, paying attention, because Mars could, when energies transit, I feel like they amplify what you are already, like I said, predisposed towards, energy, personality, behavior wise, in different areas of your life. So just amplifies all that in certain directions. So Mars transiting will amplify any sort of aggressive or take action, take charge, or warrior type, anger, passion too, like, aggression, or just being more of like an alpha type personality in some way, being amplified, those characteristics and actions. So that's just another way to explain how, because it's subtle and you don't want to be manipulated. Even being aware of it, you can still, it's easy to forget. And that is kind of like a daily possession or something, like the energies that influence our behavior, our thoughts and emotions, and even if you don't believe in that kind of thing. I mean, I can tell you for sure it's real, but I'm completely skeptical of things until I test them myself, and do usually a few tests, and I fully encourage anyone else who's also skeptical, and you should be skeptical. You don't want to just, believe whatever is out there and take it all on as, a religion without having really, known it for yourself. And what does that entail? Like, what does it entail for you to, like, really know something and to be completely 100% sure about it beyond just what you've always been taught and things like that. So I always encourage experimentation and being skeptical and trying it out, and just, as an experiment, see if anything like that. And I feel like that is, as a whole, what this entire channel is kind of about, a big experiment. God, where are the freaking... It's like raining and there's hardly any lane. Can't even see the lanes, and now I'm driving in the middle of one. Okay, great. I love everyone else is just following me. Stop. Can't see the lanes either. So yeah, just as an experiment, go on astro.com, see where the current planets are transiting, making any significant transits maybe, and apply it to anything. See if it influences people's behavior, impulse and things of that nature, characteristics of that nature are very much associated with Aries. So beware that when a Mars is transiting, or Aries fire house, a lot of fire energy gets together, impulse control, and see how that affects, apply it to whatever is interesting to you, is basically how to make anything interesting. So just take basic facts, the numbers, and that being the transits, the different houses, the degrees and things like that, and see how they align for you, maybe in your birth chart, but also in whatever you're interested in. Like I said, like stock market, see if when there's a Mars transit, are people more impulsive? Are they buying up more stocks? Are things on the rise? Or, and then you can sort of start to cultivate a understanding, at least a feel for the behaviors that result from transiting energies. And really it's a way just to quantify the emotional tides that we all go through. So, and putting it into categories that are understandable and characteristics that are relatable. So that in combination with numbers, devise your own system, like test it out for yourself with whatever topics are interesting to you, just as long as they can compare and contrast in some sort of foundational layer like numbers. So anyways, that's what I'm thinking about on my way home, and heads up about some sort of aggressive energy auditoriums. Steer clear of bleachers that could collapse or something. Okay, bye.